all the architectural elements, such as walls, doors, windows, floors, and roofs, are located in the Architecture tab. To model any of these elements, click over their associated tool. By selecting any of these commands, two things happen. First, the Properties window will update to show the parameters associated with that command. And second, Revit brings up the Modify tab and provides extra tools to model that element. The Drawing toolset is one of these tools. This set of tools is used to draw many elements, such as walls, floors, roofs, section lines, and so on. In this session, we want to investigate its most frequently used tools. I highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with these tools in advance, as they will be used to explain the rest of the Revit commands. Let's start by modeling a wall. Launch Revit, and after selecting the architectural template, create a new project. Being in Level 0 Floor Plan, select the Wall command, and then from the Type selector, pick any of the wall types with several layers shown in their thumbnail. Then, select Line from the Drawing toolbar and model a chain of walls by clicking on different parts of the drawing area. To terminate the action, press the Escape key on your keyboard. This causes the action to finish, but we are still in the Wall command, and we can click somewhere else in the drawing area to start modeling another wall. To both finish the drawing action and get out of the Wall command, press the Escape key twice. When the mouse cursor turns into a pointing arrow, it means that we are back to the selection mode and can start a new command. Pick the Line tool one more time since it is the most commonly used drawing tool, and click anywhere inside the drawing space to model a wall. Open up a 3D view and use the shortcut WT to see the wall both on a floor plan and 3D view. Then, use the shortcut ZF to fit them both in the drawing area. It should be noted that we are only drawing a simple line. However, in the 3D view, a wall with a thickness of different layers and a height has been created. This is how a parameter-based program like Revit works. In other words, we need first to set up the element's parameters like thickness, width, height, material, base, and top constraints, and so forth in the type and instance parameters, and then use the drawing tools to draw its footprint to get them modeled with all its fundamental attributes. Now let's return to the Line Drawing tool and continue drawing more walls. Having the Wall tool selected, some extra options are provided in the options bar, which only applies to that tool. One of these options is Chain. Having it selected, we can draw a continuous range of lines. But what if we turn it off? Then, we cannot have that continuity anymore. I usually prefer to have it activated. To draw walls with a specific length in a particular direction, having the Line tool selected, click on the drawing space to locate the start of the wall. Then, point out your mouse cursor in the desired direction, type in the length value on your keyboard, and press Enter. You can also use the Shift key to draw horizontal or vertical lines. Hold down the Shift key after your first click and start clicking to have the line drawn in absolute horizontal or vertical directions. When picking any of the drawing tools, like the Line tool, there is a setting named Offset in the options bar, which helps position the wall at a specified distance from where we click and move the mouse cursor. For example, if I set the offset value to 1000 millimeters, then the wall will be drawn at a 1 meter distance from the original line. Use the keyboard spacebar to switch the side of the placement. If you're finding this video helpful, check out RevitGamers.com. Our courses go beyond the basics, bringing Revit to life with hundreds of dynamic visuals and animations that make complex concepts feel easy. This unique training approach is designed to speed up your learning and make BEAM adoption smoother than ever. Every day, more students and companies are joining Revit Gamers Club to elevate their Revit skills. Don't miss out. Head to RevitGamers.com and see how Revit training can be fun, visual, and incredibly effective. The next drawing tool is the Rectangle tool. Being in the Wall tool, select the tool and click to specify the first corner of the rectangle. Then, with your second click, locate the other corner. To achieve accurate length and width, click over these dimensions and input your desired value. I will explain these dimension tools in another session. Inscribed and circumscribed polygons are the next ones. They are used to draw polygons with different numbers of sides. Having them selected, specify the number of sides in the options bar, and then start drawing with 2 clicks. In the inscribed polygon, the first click specifies the center of the shape, and the second click specifies the distance to the vertex. However, in the circumscribed polygon, the second click specifies the distance of the side of the shape to the center. The next tool is Circle. Specify the circle center and radius with the first and the second click respectively. You can change the circle radius by clicking on the dimension and changing it. There are several ways to draw an arc in Revit. The first one is the Start, End, Radius Arc tool, which creates an arc using 3 clicks. The first click specifies the start of the arc, the second click specifies the end of the arc, and the third click specifies the radius of the arc. The next one is the Center Ends Arc tool, which also draws an arc with 3 clicks. The first click specifies the center of the arc. The second click specifies the radius of the arc, and with the third click, we can determine the length of the arc. If we have another wall already modeled, we can use the Tangent End Arc tool to make a tangent wall to the existing wall. Simply place the first click at the end of the existing object, and with the second click, complete the shape. And the last arc tool is the Fillet Arc tool. When you've got 2 straight walls, the Fillet Arc tool helps create a rounded corner between them. Start by choosing the tool, then select the first and then the second wall, and finally, specify the fillet's radius with a left click. The second way to specify the rounded corner circle is by enabling the radius option in the options bar in advance and then inputting a value. At the end, click on the 2 sides of the corner to apply the rounded corner with the specified radius in the options bar. The next drawing tools that are less important are the ellipse and partial ellipse. We use the ellipse and partial ellipse tools to draw elliptical shapes. In the ellipse tool, the first click specifies the center of the shape. The second specifies the end, and finally the third indicates the middle of the shape. In the partial ellipse tool, the first click is for the start of the shape. The second one specifies the end, and finally, the third one indicates the middle of the partial ellipse. If you already have a 3D object like a floor modeled, we can use the Pick Lines tool to place the walls on the floor's sides with only 1 click. Simply select the tool and start clicking on the edges of the floor or any other existing object. Finally, the Pick Faces tool can be used to place walls on massing elements. This tool is a bit more advanced than other tools and is unnecessary to be explained at this stage.